Hello, Shing. What's on the docket for today?
Oh, hi. Sorry, I was just okay. Yeah, we can get started. So I thought we just go over a few things that we are working on and trying to get some status on it. You have other topics?
I do not have anything.
Yeah, okay. So I thought we can just look at some of the things that we are working on. So one thing is this paper that we went over this one some time ago. But probably have not got much progress after that. So this is the V3 of the storage landscape white paper. So we did update this one just to put together an outline on what we want to add or modify. So I think we can probably just go over this one. So the first one is we talked about this one, I think this probably is you, right, Tom and Nick, you proposed this one. I forgot who mentioned this. So we want to add a section for messaging and streaming there. And I have a note here. Raphael, I actually forgot to ask you about this one. There is this, what is this project? The operator for the, actually, okay, let me see, for Kafka, I forgot the name.
Streamzy.
Right, Streamzy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know someone in that is working on Streamzy?
Yeah, I mean the maintainers we have some maintainers at Red Hat for Streamzy.
Right. Well, can you pin them just to see if they are interested in writing a section about messaging streaming for this paper V3?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey Zing, this is Ed.
Oh, hi.
This is hi. This is Ed Robinson from OpenEBS. I just want to volunteer that if there's any sections of this is probably a little bit beyond my technical abilities, but if there's any sections of this that like our storage guys in OpenEBS can help with, writing any sections. If you can just raise to me, then I'll take it back to them and then say, look, can somebody help here? Because we actively want to try to contribute more to tag storage, but sometimes we just need to tell them what we'd like them to do.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
But let me know. And Nick,
okay.
Nick, you probably have an idea of where the guys could contribute as well.
Yep, I can look at it.
Okay. And okay, then this one is okay, here, this is a note saying Raphael will add a PR reference here. And Alex, Tom, and Nick will add a section about performance. So yeah, so Tom and Nick, so your name is here.
Track of that. I didn't know I
Yeah.
had it.
You don't know you have this one? Okay.
I didn't know. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe if you tag me here, I will do.
Sure.
Yeah, try to do
Okay.
this.
Now, okay. Maybe I should. If I put your name, would that be easier? I'm not sure if this is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, like this.
Yeah. That one.
Okay, I'll just say assign. Yeah, maybe that's better actually. right? And then this, so this is how, okay, Alex, Tom, okay, I'm not sure if I get your email.
Yeah, just dot, Prohofsky.
Do
Yeah, I could probably,
okay, P,
okay, dot, you need a period,
okay,
Tom period,
Pro, it's
Prof,
not sure.
HOFSKY.
Sorry, PRO.
OHOFSKY
It doesn't show
at
automatically.
Gmail.
Okay, should I just do this? I don't know how to, okay. Or is it tom.@gmail.com?
Yeah,
I mean, yes.
gmail.com.
Okay, does that work? Okay. It's not
We'll figure it
popping up.
out. Oh, yeah, I think you
Sure.
need that.
Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
all right. So, oh, looks like I can only do one assignment at a time, right? Does not look like it allow me to assign. Okay, so maybe I'll just do the one at a time. So let me just do you first, and then okay,
All right.
sign, and then assign again. I know Alex, I know his name. That's okay. This one, I'll just say that. Is that okay?
That's
And then and then assign to, oh no, not become reply now. How do I do this again for Nick? Sorry, Nick. Does that show up? This oh no, that's looks
Neither
old.
of those. No, you want nick.connolly@arm.com.
This one?
Not that one. Nick.connolly
Nick
at arm.com.
ARM?
Yep, arm.
Oh, that's what you are now? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No.
yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. And
Can I just
see.
clarify there, Zing? The intent is to take the performance paper we were working on and merge it into the storage white paper. Is that correct?
I think we just need like a small section.
A section of it, yes.
But maybe it should be independent, right? But that is another one. That one seems like it's still in the
It's still
finalizing
pending.
phase.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're pulling a summary and creating a reference to a more detailed paper.
Right. Just like
Okay.
you probably just add a small section, and then it says
Yep.
add a summary paragraph to, there's actually section number is to 3.3. Maybe
Okay.
you should check what is
I'll take a
yeah,
look.
there's a link to it. Yeah.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. And okay, I actually who added all of this? Security, access control, versioning. Yeah, I don't, maybe Alex added this. I do not remember writing this section myself, so it could be Alex who wrote this. Yeah, we'll check with Alex. So I do have yeah, this is my part. Yeah, it's my, okay, maybe I should just remind myself, assign to myself.
some of those look like questions I had to
Oh,
put
oh,
into.
maybe you added those? Okay,
I can't remember.
sure.
It's scrolling out of my short-term cache of what we did here.
Oh, okay. PD replicate across multiple Kubernetes cluster versioning.
Yeah, we haven't described the challenges there that if
Oh, challenge, okay.
it's because PVC doesn't have scope of Kubernetes cluster with it. So that's left to the reader. Which
What do you mean is you want to replicate, let's say you have one cluster that's in, let's say 1.29 and the other one 1.31, something like that? You replicate, is that what you mean? Or
Well,
explain
yeah,
more?
we just, we don't, if we have, if there's a storage subsystem that is replicating and being consumed with multiple clusters, so you have a, let's say, some common data warehouse or something that
Mhm.
you've got, how do we handle the versioning that potentially could be coming between those PVCs and what's mounted when and all, or just highlight the problems of the fact that a PVC does not have a context of its own cluster. It assumes the cluster's there, but it doesn't have any labeling.
You mean a PV on the
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
on the
PV
storage
to be,
doesn't have, yeah.
Oh, so you're saying when you replicate, you don't know which class, like it does not have the original information when you replicate it from one cluster to another, it does not know where it's coming from. It basically does not know the,
yeah.
okay.
So PVs in and of themselves are insufficient to without some other
Oh, you
tagging
basically
and
there's no higher level, you need like some higher level orchestration kind of know,
or
right?
even storing the context. So if PV has a unique ID that that may or may not be worldwide unique. And then you don't have a way to ask or query the details of a PV of which cluster is managing you. So
On the
in the,
storage system, you mean
yeah, on the storage element, on the
storage system. Okay. But
so
are you
that,
imagining the use case where two storage boxes, two storage appliances are replicating volumes, or are you imagining the use case where a software-defined storage layer like Portworx or ODF are replicating PVs?
I think both have challenges. Um, the even things like a implementation of parallel NFS that may have a single metadata server that's handling and servicing multiple clusters. When that cluster is gone, if it's lost, the data itself can't tell you anything about it.
Oh, I see what you mean. So there is no garbage collection capability if you only look at the the information that you have on the storage appliance. Right?
Right.
Okay.
And
Or is
so
it just, or is it like the metadata is not really stored in the volume itself? It's kind of stored in some other.
it's kind of left to the reader and the storage
Right, yeah.
storage provider,
Yes. Right, that's
which
true.
yeah, it when the universe is just that one cluster that could come and go,
Mhm.
and the storage persists between clusters, we don't. It's right now. It's kind of hard to figure out what's the right path there,
And Tommy, is it? I have never looked into this. Is it in an inherent issue of CSI, or is it more of a implementation choice?
I think it's an let me think. Um, it's an implementation choice. So, for instance, if let's say you're using LVM, Linux's volume manager,
Mhm.
you can put a tag on that volume that persists to say, here's my UUID for that PV. So so the cluster, when it comes back or a new version of it, it has the unique identifications that were made when the first cluster was alive. But there's nothing in CSI that says the UUID on a PV has to be worldwide unique. It just has to be cluster unique.
Right. It feels like you need some cluster identifier, or maybe storage class and cluster identifier, to really uniquely identify a volume on the storage side. So if the storage side supports metadata, that could be the CSI implementation decision to do that. And then, then
Yeah.
you can, all right.
Yeah, you're onto the problem. I mean, which I'm not making a crisp problem statement, but it's around there, and
Yeah.
it, I don't know what the right management is, but there's it, as clusters proliferate and go through versions and updates and maybe levels of trust for provenance, understanding that this PV came from this, was part of this cluster or is part of this cluster, is an interesting concept to be able to look at it from the storage side. And we don't, it's left to the reader to figure out if they want that and how to do it.
I agree. It's true.
Right.
Yeah. I have the
It's more
same.
like all of these are designed for a single Kubernetes cluster, right? It's not designed for multiple. So now we have those all those challenges.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So probably it's good to put the write down those challenges. Okay.
And so how was this because I find this interesting, like it's an interesting observation. How was this related to replicating volumes? I lost that.
Um, I think the volume replication has a concept of point in time that may, and so as you are updating and replicating volumes or snapshots of volumes, those versions and timestamps get muddied if you have clusters coming and going and in the process of
Oh, okay.
replication. The happy path is easy, but there's some pretty ugly corner cases of failure.
Oh, okay. So you have a use case where you have to replicate snapshots of volumes, and you don't know if those volumes are still alive or not, essentially.
If the cluster goes away, yeah.
Yeah, if those volumes are attached to an existing cluster or not. Okay, so that's a little bit of a secondary. I mean, the main problem statement is if you only look at the storage side, you don't know if a volume is attached to a live cluster or not. There's
And if so, to which one?
any sort of which one. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But will you be able to, since you replicated to the target side, will you be able to check it from the target side at least to verify that's there? That one should be able to figure out, right? You just don't know the status of the origin, I guess. Is that the problem?
if it's just two-way replication, there may be some assumptions you could make. If you start thinking about more distributed systems of triple replication and consistency between there, then yeah,
Mhm.
you really need to know that this cluster at I'm a replica of this cluster at this time at this version.
Mm. Okay.
And without in right now, the only way you could do that is with some other database solving it outside of Kubernetes. You can't look at the data and figure it out. Or
Right. So you are thinking if there is something stored in the PV itself that will help you. That's what you are.
or metadata of the PV that could be somehow helpful.
So you could add annotations on the PVs, right?
Add
And just
a label. What?
right, yes, a label annotation on the
Yeah,
PV itself.
annotation.
That's like a workaround. Would that help?
Yeah, that's effectively one of the possible ways of doing it. There's multiple workarounds. The easiest is for the when I was playing around with LVM2 running across multiple clusters, making sure that the LVM2 UUID for the volume was unique, and then adding a label, an LVM2 label that said, here's the PV and UUID, and here's the cluster identifier. So at that point, then I knew all the way through that I had a path that I could say that I could look at the metadata on that volume outside of the cluster context and know exactly what it was associated with, or at least which PV it was associated with. So that was one way, but
Oh, but when you are replicating your okay, I guess because I still do not know the whole use case, but when you're replicating, you're not really replicating the PV and PVC itself, do you? Are you only replicating the underlying storage? You're not really replicating the PVC, is that right? Because so you have like multiple clusters, and in each cluster, the PVC objects, those are already there. Okay, so I'm still not seeing the whole the whole picture. I'm not sure exactly what you were trying to replicate.
Yeah, and so maybe it deserves a little more context than just trying to talk at it right now.
Do you want to actually just have, maybe you can just talk in one of the meetings, you can talk about this more in detail? You want to do that? I did not see the whole picture, so not sure.
Maybe I can try. Let me try to say it with different words. Let's imagine a situation where you have a storage array of some kind, okay, with the CSI drivers, and you have two clusters attached to the same storage array, and the user starts creating PV and PVC. That means that on the storage array, volumes, let's not call them PV, okay, volumes are being created, right? So far, so good. And there are volumes from each of the clusters. Is that okay, Sing, so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's say for some reason you lose a cluster. Okay. How can you go on the start? Can you go? The question is, can you go on the storage array and identify the volumes that were orphaned because now there is no cluster anymore that can potentially attach to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tom is saying these CSI drivers do not create enough metadata to have essentially a foreign key on the cluster, right, from the storage array. And so what do you do? Right? I think in his particular, Tom, in your particular use case is because you need to do some reasoning and some replication potentially, but this is a more general problem, right? How do you recognize orphan volumes if you lose the cluster that has created those volumes? And like my sense is that if this, it's a responsibility of the CSI implementation to put enough metadata on the volume to then allow you to query the storage array and say, give me all the volumes of this cluster, and then you can do whatever you want with that.
But we actually do that in our CSI driver. We actually save those informations.
In your drivers? Well, when you say your drivers, what do you mean?
In our vSphere CSI driver, we actually save some of the metadata.
Yeah, I think it's a CSI implementation choice, and maybe there are some CSI drivers that are not mature. But it should be like I strongly agree here that this is a problem, and this should probably be a recommendation in the like if there is an implementation guideline for CSI drivers, there should probably be a recommendation to add that metadata.
And I agree with you, Raphael. The just the orphaned data is an easier problem.
So do you know that actually the PV, like the PVC namespace and PV names, you can actually, it's actually passed to CSI driver. You can actually totally save it.
Right. Well, it would be more interesting. Even namespace could exist on another cluster. It really, the cluster information is is what like a unique idea of the cluster is what I think we need here. I don't know, Tom. You are closer to the problem.
Yeah, that's the only way to solve the problem. And I like your problem statement because it's simpler. When a cluster dies with a shared storage provider for the storage class, how do you identify that cluster's orphans? You could do the diff and look at all the other clusters that storage is providing volumes to and see what's left over. But with volumes coming and going, you still have a challenge there that you might during the time it took you to look for those orphans, the new clusters or active clusters could create and then suspend activity. So you got a race condition to work through. Timestamps might help. But I think that problem is an interesting one. So it gets to the heart of you need an identifier of some identifier. Maybe it doesn't have to be worldwide unique to the cluster that can be a convention for how to look at volumes or something, or make a suggestion for CSI drivers to make that an attribute of how they store, how individual vendors and solutions store their data. Metadata, I guess, to be more specific.
So framing this is not just one node, but this could be the entire cluster being destroyed, and people have faced a situation where they've stored persistent data. They know it's sitting there on a disk, but they've got no way of recovering it. Is that Is that the kind of the extended problem, or one of the symptoms?
Yeah, identification of which volumes were associated to the defunct cluster.
This is definitely from our perspective, from OpenEVS perspective, we have issues. This issue escalated to us a lot of times, and we've got partial solutions to it, but not as elegant as we want to have. Like, people are facing this issue a lot, and then they lose trust in Kubernetes, or they lose trust in being able to store their, the data is their business. So totally agree that we need to have some way to make these things resilient.
So I think it's true like, I think you're going to the next problem here. The first problem is, if I lose a cluster and this cluster had some volumes on a storage array or storage system, how do I identify those volumes? Second is, okay, maybe in those volumes there was important data. How do I recover that information, right? That's what you're saying, I think.
Yeah. And so some of the Linux implementations, and I'm not going to mention them on the call just because we're on a public call, but some of the Linux implementations, when you do an upgrade on them, unless you specifically say, keep all my settings, they will blast over the Kubernetes cluster. And so this is a really common, and not retain the settings. So this is a really, really common situation, at least in my experience. It's and then people, they don't have any answer, they don't have any solution for it. But yeah, I'm talking about the entire cluster, especially.
So on the recovery side, that's where versioning would be helpful, to know if you actually had to stand up a cluster of the exact version to recover the data. With all, you need to know. You might need to know the actual version of the cluster if there was a dependency on, like, the CSI driver at that point in time.
I can get one of, I know we've got one guy who's been dealing with this issue a lot. I could connect him with Zing, Tom, or Raphael, and just maybe just he can just tell you the problem that we've seen and kind of what we tried to do, and then maybe that could be helpful. Sorry, this is my first time here. I don't know. I'm just trying to be helpful, but would that be useful?
Yeah, first time here, you get an action item.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy to do that. So if I get my person to connect to someone, who should they connect with? Like
Xing, can we put on the agenda for one of the next meetings and to kind of present for food for thought as a.
Yeah, sure. So,
okay, I tell you what, I will volunteer. I'll volunteer Tiago from our side just to talk through some of the data recovery problems that we've been just helping people with.
Okay, so whose name I should put here? I'll just put your name.
Yeah, sorry, you can put my name and I'll recruit the engineering people, the right engineering people.
Then we can, we can replace it with the engineer's name later, right? So okay, so what would be a topic?
Data recovery challenges. Should we just make it that broad, or do you want to be more specific?
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
data recovery when the clusters have been blown away, erased and rebuilt. Yeah.
something like this?
Well, just rebuilt I like the rebuilt idea.
Rebuild? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Is-
see what you're saying. You want to, okay, okay, rebuild, all right.
I think I suggest, Ching, that this
Okay.
could be really good for the white paper because it's
Okay.
it's a huge fear for
So
people.
we
You know,
can,
if
yeah,
that's
you
something
know what, we
yeah.
can also have just a paper just on this subject. I think this has enough, right? Because either way, right? If we don't have enough content, we can put it as a section of that paper, or we can just have a paper just on this if this is getting very big, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And all I'm doing is I'm trying to help and trying to contribute.
So yeah, okay. So you can check with your engineer and see when they can come, which meeting they can come. Then we can put date here next time. Or you probably want to check with their schedule first, right? Then we can put the date here.
It's more about making sure that they're not scared to present, or just they're okay to do it, and
Okay.
they
Yeah,
need to be.
I'll leave this one open for now, but yeah, I think this will be a great topic. Yeah.
And maybe this is muddying the waters going too far, but do we have topics like this that we should be trying to prepare for the KubeCon in figuring out if there's forums or things to kind of
So
continue
you're
the
talking about it's
discussion?
more like a discussion?
Yeah, a hall talk
Okay,
or
yeah.
something. I don't know if there's something like that to kind of
We
cast the
can
net a little
we can
bigger.
definitely we can definitely just discuss about this. So we could I'm not sure how they provide room for this, but we can definitely meet. I can ask and see. I'm not sure if they actually have any room for. They may have something for tags. Yeah. So let me check that. So if they give us
Yeah,
a
that would be great.
room. Okay, let me just add an action item. Right.
Yeah, let's maybe make a list of some a discussion topic list for KubeCon. I'm going to be physically there.
Okay.
I don't know what tag storage is planning to do.
So right now I can ask because in the past we didn't really have something like that, but I know other tags had something. I need to check. Okay, let me check that. Okay, I'll just say action item.
Yeah, I like the idea. If many of us are at KubeCon, we could actually find some time for a tag storage meeting, right? In person.
Room for discussion. Yeah, that will be great. So, okay. And then who will be there? Who will be at KubeCon? We can,
Me and Leonardo for sure.
okay. I'm sorry.
So
who-
Gabriele and Leonardo
Okay.
on
And
ADB.
Gabriel. Okay, Gabriel.
Yeah,
So-
sorry, it's not Angus. Sorry.
Oh no, I thought
That's
it's
me.
Angus speaking.
That's Gabriele. Yes. Sorry,
Yeah, Gabriel, this is right. Can you
Yeah,
you can write down,
Gabriele.
please go ahead,
Yeah,
write your
I'll
name.
write that. I'll write that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Thanks. Sorry, Jean.
So Raphael and Alex. Who else will be there? Okay, yeah, you can feel free to.
Ed will be there. I'll be there.
Okay.
Ed Robinson.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Gabrielle,
Yeah.
I'm meeting. Gabrielle, I'm meeting with our guys on Friday, and I think we should have some progress for you on the benchmarking stuff
Awesome.
as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, sorry, it's just they had other things to do, so I'm just making sure they do it. Cheng, do they usually have? I'm just trying to remember. Is there usually a day that they would, as Raphael said, doing an in-person meeting could be good? Do they usually have like a day that's done? Like, is it the Monday, or or is it just any time you can fit
It's
things
probably
in? Because I thought
it's probably Tuesday. I will need to I don't know. So this is for tag, right? it could be just in one of those other days when there are actually sessions going on. So I have to check, see, because I know in the past I have seen other techs have those meetups. So let me check. I don't want to say something that I do not know. I didn't. I have
Yeah.
not explored it this time. So let me find out what we can do. Right. So there should be something we could do there. So I would let me just ask. Okay. For a okay, I should say for a tag meetup. I'll just call it a tag meetup.
And then let's start a topic list and add
Yes,
the
good idea.
and add cluster loss, data recovery as a potential on that list. I'm sure we'll come up with more.
Data recovery when Kubernetes cluster is lost. Okay. Okay, yeah, if there are any other topics, please add here. Okay. Should we go back? Okay, let me go back to this. Let's move on just to try to finish these items here. So some of those I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure who added those. Maybe Alex added those other sections. Okay, reference link. Okay, yeah, this one you can add. Refresh. What should do? Oh, okay, yes, this is another. This is basically we added some new attributes in the data on Kubernetes white paper, so we can just add them in this storage white paper as well. Gabriel, want to talk about this? Gabriel?
Yeah. So basically, I just read that section, so section 10.2, and I think while that was probably valid and I think it was more than 2 years ago, if I remember correctly.
This was like about a while back.
Yeah, I think now it's a bit changed, and also I remember that Patrick McFadden and Jeff Carpenter, they came with a definition of basically in terms of expectations of a cloud native database. At least, if we could define what we mean by cloud native database, what principles, what requirements should be met, and then we can then maybe even mention a few names of them, so but I think it would be good to come to an agreement of what we mean now, I mean 2024, 25 by cloud native database.
Yeah, that'll be great. So I assign this to you.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Thanks.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, if you can, yeah, right. I think this would be we can just use this one. You can, if you want to write something, you can either, write it somewhere else and copy it here, but this would be the place where we're collaborating on this paper.
Yeah, like the database
pattern
one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then this last side, yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. That would be great. Yeah, definitely that should be updated. And the last one, yeah, this is, I think Victor is not in this meeting. He mentioned this one. before, so I'll check with him and see if he still want to do anything here. So okay, so that's this. And then we also have yeah, this is Raphael. Do you actually have a link to your paper? Raphael? Raphael, if you're talking,
I was on
you're-
mute. Do you mean?
remember
you
there
know,
was a V2, right? You were writing something. We talked about this one some time ago. I thought you started to write something, which would be a V2, right? Let me actually.
No.
You don't remember this?
I thought we said we were gonna fix something in the
So
old
it's going to
one.
be, the old one is already published, so it's going to be a V2. So basically you can just write on top of it, but it's going to be,
Right. But
yeah.
then, yeah. But then I saw that the part that we wanted to write was already essentially there, because we wanted to talk about. We wanted to, yeah. Okay, but yeah, I remember that conversation. No,
Yeah, take a check, take a look. You're saying it's
I
already
haven't
there.
made progress. I haven't made progress. I have to. I have to.
Yeah, I know this was a while ago, and then we kind of
Yeah.
we forgot we didn't yeah, do any update because we have been having a lot of presentations. We didn't follow up
Okay.
with those. So. Oh yeah, here, see here, V2.
Yeah,
You
actually,
see it,
yeah.
right?
It's,
All right, let
it's
me actually copy this whole thing. Oh, draft is here. Is this the right link? Or is this a different? Is this the V2? Right, this is V2, right?
okay. Yeah, it's V2. But then I realized that, like I said, yeah. Anyway, I will. We
Okay.
already have the active passive conversation.
Oh, you're saying it's
But
actually not. You're
we
saying
wanted
there's no need to add this. You mean?
Well,
Okay.
maybe we want to put it in front as at the beginning of the paper instead of as an afterthought. It's almost in the appendix.
Okay. Sure.
Okay,
So
so
okay, let me okay, where was that? I thought I saw that section earlier. Disaster. Okay, yeah, here. Let me just copy this whole thing. So this way, at least we already have a link. But you can take a look if you think, oh, maybe it's not really necessary, then that's fine. But if you think it's necessary to have a V2, then we can just provide this link, right? But if you're saying, oh, this is really very small update, maybe it's not really worth another V2, then maybe that's fine. I will leave that to you. If you can take a look and let us know next time what do you think?
okay.
Okay. Right, so- Thank you. And then next there's this data on Kubernetes white paper. This is focusing on data analytics and AI machine workloads. There is a work in progress. Okay, let you find that link. All right, so this is I'll add this one. I'll add this link to the agenda doc, right? So you can help review it. Yeah, this is just talking about the patterns and trends, data storage, talking about the data warehouses, the cache locality, vector database, work file object storage. Yeah, so I will add this one. I will add this one in the agenda doc. All right. Okay, are there anything else we want to go over?
I think it's
Oh,
good.
is there a message there? Let's see what. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, someone is saying something?
I said it looks good to me.
Oh, okay, all right. Sounds good. Then that's it for today then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
all.
Bye.
Bye.